Back to Call Center Help. It's your boy Drew. Today we got a treat for you guys, another gem, and it is regarding the red flags when interviewing or working for a call center or customer service center. Today I got Mr. Call Center with us today. He's going to be dropping some gems as well. So without further ado, let's get into the topic, man. What do you think about call centers and the red flags to look out for?
Well, let me tell you something, Drew. There's two things you want to watch out for, and trust me, because I've seen it. Number one is when you're interviewing, and number two is the first week of training in a call center. Here are the red flags when you're interviewing, all right? And then we've all seen it. If the
Let's see.
dude, the interviewer, is trying to sell you the fucking job, it
There
makes
you
no
go.
sense. Normally, they'll tell you exactly all the benefits. They'll tell you exactly how you can grow within the company, the pay raises. They're going to throw all this golden stuff at you to try to get you to get into the job.
Yeah,
But the whole point in an interview is for you to try to sell yourself, your skills. You're trying to impress them. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
whenever you hear someone talk about exerting exactly how great the fucking job is, oh my God, you know something is up. You know something is going. No, normally you'll see this like with sales jobs.
Yeah,
They're gonna tell you, "Hey man, you can make up to $40 an hour. All you gotta do is just sell all this stuff and make all this blah 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 blah." Come on now, it's bullshit.
yeah.
But it is what it is. But that's one of the things you got to look out for. All right. Now, here's another thing, and this is a big red flag when you're starting the job, because some people will get into the job and I'll go ahead and try it for a week. Cool, see what's going on. Now, this happens not common. It's kind of rare, but it does happen. Now, let's say that things start going wrong for you. Let's say that they give you maybe 2 days worth of training, right?
Yeah.
And before you know it, they start telling you, oh, you're still going too slow, you're not getting it, blah, 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 blah. They're coming up with all these excuses of telling you stuff that you're doing wrong. You know something is up. Now, you probably don't know exactly what's going on, but you can kind of get the feeling, you know what I mean? Let me tell you all right now, this shit happened to me. I remember I once applied years ago for this
Mm.
position, right? It's a regular call center position, customer service, data entry, so forth and so forth, usually all the same shit. After 3 4 days of training, they started telling me that Edgar, you got to get faster, you're too slow. And I'm looking at this, I'm like, dude, I got like 5 6 different fucking programs I got to learn. You know what I'm saying? Apart from that,
There
they
it
want me
is.
to memorize all these fucking steps, you step by step, and they're complaining. And let me tell you something, the person that was training me had been in that company for 5 years, and she
Yeah.
wanted me to, or actually it was a he wanted me to keep up with him. And when I couldn't, he started going off to the hiring manager, the person that originally hired me. And he was like, Edgar, I'm getting all these reports from your trainer, this and that, you got to work harder. But I knew either the trainer guy didn't like me, or something else was going on. Maybe they wanted to fire me because they wanted to hire somebody else. Maybe they didn't like me. It could have been any reason, but I could tell it was like pushing a truck uphill by myself. You know what I mean? It was no way of winning. So finally, after 2 weeks, I gave my week's notice, and I just quit the fucking job because I knew that 'cause every day just bullshit and bullshit and bullshit after bullshit. I mean, has
100.
this stuff ever happened to you, Drew? Shit.
I mean, I can definitely resonate with that 100%. 100%, you know what I'm saying? In my experience, with my years, my tenure in the business, just like you, there are some places that want to nitpick and get people out of there for various reasons. It could be that they got someone else that, they wanted, but they took you just in the interim so that guy can kind of make up his mind. And then when they finally get that guy to make up his mind to join the team for either higher pay or maybe the guy has more experience, then they'll let you go for just some nuanced reason that doesn't really make sense. So I definitely understand that. So I feel you, man. I feel you. But here's the next thing here. All right. I'm going to give you my two red flags. Okay. And again, please like, sub, share, comment, hit the bell. Weekly gems. We do this weekly. All right, guys. So here's the deal. The next red flag to look out for when you're getting into the call center business and you apply for a job is when they advertise customer service. Okay. The role says customer service. But when you get there, the manager tells you, or the HR guy, whoever's interviewing you, tells you, by the way, you also got to sell a little bit. You got to upsell. It's light
Oh,
selling.
I fucking hate that shit. I
Exactly.
fucking hate that shit.
Exactly. Light selling. They'll go ahead and portray it as something not a big deal. They'll say, you just got to sell a little bit. If you sell enough, you can make, $50 extra a week. They'll give you some type of number. The thing is with that type of role, and I've had this type of role before, and I've also advertised for this type of role. When you go for that interview, they're going to tell you about all the things that you can get when you sell. You can get bonuses, you can get pay raises if you sell. Even though they advertise it as customer service, they're going to say it's customer service, but really it's a sales job. So that is a red flag. So if you ever look at a job posting that says customer service with upselling, that is a red flag, my friend. That is a sales job. They're just trying to get people in the seat to sell something. And it's a high turnover rate at the end of the day. So you got to be weary of that. You see what I'm saying? You got to be weary of that. The second thing to look out for, the other red flag to look for, is if you go to a call center and the manager is interviewing you and you ask him this question, you probably will only get this answer if you ask it. If you ask the manager, hey, did you used to be on the phones? Did you used to, take some calls? If they say no, they have not, then that lets you know that that person does not know what it's like being in the trenches, okay? All they're going to look at is metrics, and they're going to bark at you every time you make a mistake. All right, because if your metrics are down, they're gonna bark at you and give you all the strategies and all the medicine and all the magic that you could have done on that call to make it better, when that person has no prior experience in that role. So that is a red flag. If you take that job, I can guarantee you it's going to be a pain in the behind, because that manager has not taken a single call in that center, so he has no idea what it's really like, if you know what I'm saying. And I'm sure Mr. Carlson has been through this as well. I mean, we talk back and forth about this deal where, they get a manager from the outside that's never worked there to manage a team. And it's like, that guy doesn't have any prior experience. What is he doing here? You see what I'm saying?
People like that and just know how to play the politics. They like to go ahead and act like they're actually managers, but the only thing they manage, they managing is bullshit because they don't know what it's like. But
They
they're
don't.
good at barking orders. I tell you that much. Telling you got to do
100%.
better, but they don't even know what you got to do better. All they do is just looking at the numbers. And one last thing I want to throw in about the sales thing. One
All right,
last thing.
bonus. It's the bonus.
Normally, these sales jobs that are bullshit, they're going to ask you to sell something that's almost impossible to sell. Sell telephone service in a world where people have cell phones and stuff like that. You know what I
The
mean? They're going
landlines.
to ask you to call. It's I can't even stress it. I'm pretty much I'm kind of venting out right now, but I'm telling you, all this is bringing back memories, man. A bunch of fucking memories, and I get pissed when I think
Yeah,
about it. Because if I knew back then what I know now, oh man, I would have destroyed these fucking interviews. I would have seen the red signs as soon as I walked through the freaking door, man. They would just walked out. Hey, Edgar,
100%.
stand for your interview. I would have been gone. I would have been gone.
Would have been gone. But that is the deal, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the four red flags that we named here today. We obviously have more, but these are the red flags we have for you guys today. Please like, sub, share, hit the bell for more content.
And guys, go ahead and leave some comments. You know what I mean? We're basically starting out. We're throwing all the topics that we know, but maybe there's some stuff you especially want to hear about. Everyone's got different experiences. Everyone's got different questions. Me and Drew over here, we've been through it all, man. Call center after call center. We know all the red flags. We know all the green flags. How to play the politics in your favor. Who to watch out for. Who not to watch out for. Throw some comments in. What do you guys want to know about? And if you have any ideas about how to spice up the videos, anything you want to see, anything you want to know for the future, just drop it in the comments. We'll be happy to deliver.
But that's all we got for you guys today. On to the next one.